Andrew Urquhart's with you on the program today, and it has often been said of me that I've got a great face for radio. And then along came the internet, and and yeah, honestly, our visual appearance, I suppose, has a lot to do with people's first impression of us. They take one look at us and they decide what sort of person that we are based on, I suppose, their back catalogue of people that they've met that look a little bit like us. Perhaps it's unfair, but that is the way that things are. This is also perhaps true of the way we present ourselves to potential employers, both, of course, scrubbing up for the actual interview, and also a few steps back from that on our LinkedIn profile, the all-important profile pic. Joining us on the program now, Tom O'Neill. Tom, kia ora, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Morena, my friend. Great to be back.
And hey, when it comes to the profile pic, now we were talking about LinkedIn last week, and it's all about the headline. It's all about, making sure that we've got some substance to it. But as anybody who uses a dating app will tell you, that's not going to get that's not going to get you a match. It's the all-important profile pic, and that's the sort of thing that people are going to go, oh, yeah, maybe, or absolutely no way. It seems shallow, but it's true, Tom, right?
Well, humans, we know are based in sin. End of the day, we do make judgments, simple as that. But the good news for people that look like myself is probably about the skill rather than the physical appearance. Now, again, there'll be some roles like sales, reception, where a really high standard of dress and presentation super critical.
Yeah.
Because you're front of house, you're representing the business directly. Mm-hmm. But for the rest of us, HR, IT, etc., it's not important necessarily.
Yeah.
However, people say to me all the time, don't put a CV in my photo. I don't want a photo on the CV.
Yeah.
But then they rush off and go and put a photo online in LinkedIn, which is counterintuitive because it's the opposite. LinkedIn's public, your CV's private. So,
yes.
But at the end of the day, we don't need to be, Brad Pitt or, whoever it is, to have a really good LinkedIn profile.
Having said that, though, don't. Oh, sorry. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just saying we don't need to be Brad Pitt. But let's make sure we don't use a photo of Brad Pitt. Let's make sure that it's a photo of us and a reasonably recent one. Is that important, Tom?
Truth in advertising, mate. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, all the time you come across photos of people and, you know them or the photo may be 10, 15, 20 years old.
Yeah.
So I once had a person want her photo up and it was in her mid-20s.
Yeah.
And she was like 50.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, wanted to see a little bit more direct, truth-wise there.
Yeah.
And realistically, at the end of the day, studies from overseas showed that if you're too attractive in your CV or photo, it actually can get you in trouble and not get you hired. So you're wanting to find that balance where it's a professional, I call it a professional passport photo. Mm-hmm. Head and shoulders, smiling, nice top, blank background, looking engaged, bam, you're done.
And some of that is just how you present yourself. That how you present yourself for a photo is how you're going to turn up to work on a good day. That takes care of their personal appearance. I mean, you can write that in the text, but a photo is worth 1,000 words, as they say.
100%. And again, some roles, it's super critical to have that. Other roles, not so much. But again, if in that photo, if you can just get across a sense of, professional, friendly, not untidy, brilliant. I mean, I've seen photos with people holding beer cans, holding wine, holding crayfish. What else? Too far away, too close, unfocused, looking away from the camera, dressed in like animal costumes, all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
And the good old favourite, you see a guy, bless his heart, and he's smiling, looking very dashing, very handsome.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a bow tie, and you think, that's a bit weird. We don't really wear bow ties in society that much these days. And then you'll see just off to his left or right, there's a white sliver. And it's his wedding photo.
Wow.
He's just cropped his wife out.
It's this is the last time he got dressed up, perhaps.
Yeah, it's the last time he
Exactly.
got dressed up. That sort of gives that impression. Yeah.
Now, I mean, on that though, I mean, how far do we go? Okay, maybe we need to dial down the photos and not pick the ones that make us too good looking, as you mentioned. But do we engage with a professional photographer? Do we go to a portrait sitting for this one? Do we use Photoshop? I mean, again, that whole, what's real, what's fake? Do we, brush our teeth and put on makeup? What do we do?
Yeah. No, great question. So at the end of the day, you want to portray yourself as professionally as possible. But that doesn't mean you need to pay, $2,000-$3,000 for a professional portrait setting.
Yeah.
Any smartphone these days with good lighting, and a mate taking it, fine. It doesn't. Bear in mind, it's a small photo normally.
Yeah.
It's quite small, about the size of your thumb on the computer, so it doesn't need to have massive detail, etc. But at the end of the day, you sort of think about it. If I went to work today, how would I look? If I was going to meet my boss, right? I'm going in to meet my boss and some of the key clients of the business. What would I do? Now, for me, great, brush my hair, and bald. I'd, put on a nice suit, do everything I could to look like I should, to meet the shareholders, the clients, and my boss.
Yeah.
So in that same context, that's the sort of vibe you want to give your LinkedIn photo. Now, bear in mind, if you're a mechanic or, someone trade-based, I mean, you don't necessarily want to be all suited and booted. But again, it's about providing that friendly, professional look.
You need to look like the sort of person that will work at the place that you want to work, basically.
Mate, that's exactly it.
Exactly.
You want to look like someone who can just come on in and be friendly and engaging. A smile is super critical. Just, not a smirk. Not a crazy, killer clown smile.
Yeah.
But just one of those, just a nice, professional smile that just gives that sense that you are friendly, you are engaging, and that you're someone who can fit in to the team well. And believe it or not, you'll see your photo is your logo.
Yeah.
In many respects. So companies spend hundreds of millions designing their logos, and our photo's our own logo. So again, it's about making sure it represents us well.
Okay, and also noted down there when it comes to makeup, not killer clown makeup. Just just
probably subtle is better.
Yeah.
No fangs.
Exactly. Hey, I mean, we're talking about different aspects of LinkedIn and, the photos, the headlines, those sorts of things. But there's a term that, it's not that I haven't heard it before, but I've usually associated it with sports stars or perhaps even shoes. It's what the difference is between an ordinary LinkedIn profile and an all-star profile. How do we go from one level to the other, Tom?
Well, with an all-star profile, you get something like 40 times more views from recruiters.
Wow.
And that comes directly from LinkedIn. But here's the thing with LinkedIn: the more you put in, the more you get out.
Okay.
So they've got three levels: beginner, intermediate, all-star. Now, to be an all-star, you don't need to be the CEO in New Zealand. You just need to have a good photo, good heading, good information in the body of the document, connected to people, reach out, connecting to others, your skill list, so the whole thing complete, really, at the end of the day. It's going to take some time to do, but if that's going to mean 40 times more recruiters will come across your profile, i.e. 40 times more chance that people will reach out to you, why would you not do that?
Yeah.
When we go and buy a second-hand car, I know I just did this with my son. I spent, I think about $400 on a couple of different AA checks and this and that and da-da-da-da-da, and drove all around the countryside. We must have spent a day, 12, 14 hours doing this process. Yet that's for a car worth $6,000, where for, my career, which is going to be worth millions of dollars over the 25, 30 years I'm working, 40 years I'm working, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Why would we not invest in good time and or money into that to make sure we're represented well.
I think that's in itself a good aspirational goal. If you're not on LinkedIn, certainly something to consider if you're in the job market. If you are on LinkedIn, but it's been a while, then work on upgrading your profile to be an all-star profile, especially if you're serious about taking your career to the next level. And hey, if you're not sure how to do that, if you'd like some professional advice on how to take your LinkedIn profile to the next level, of course, that advice available at cv.co.nz. Tom, thank you for being an all-star in this space for us. Thank you for your wisdom and advice and your generosity in sharing it with us. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Look, a real pleasure. God bless, mate, and have a great day.